Hi, I'm Chad with Move Forward Guitar. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you a few ways to play a movable major 7th chord. So the major 7 chord is a really useful chord that you'll find in everything from pop to R&B to jazz and much more. So it's really useful to learn unless you play some sort of music that really doesn't have it, like a harder rock type of music. But you know, a lot of genres have this chord. You'll be able to get a lot of mileage out of it. And in this lesson, I'm going to show you 3 ways to play it, and I'm going to show you with the 6-string root. So your root is going to be on the 6th string, and that's how you're going to know what the chord is called, because wherever that root is, that's going to be the name of the chord. So I'm going to show you G major 7 for most of these, just because it falls here on the 3rd fret, which is a nice place to show you. But if you move it up to here, that'd be an A major 7. Wherever your root note is, that's what the name of the chord is, even though it'll still be called a major 7 chord. And there's a lot of ways to play this chord other than what I'm showing you now, but these are 3 voicings that you can get down that are really useful, that have the root on the 6th string, and you can get a lot of mileage out of it, and then you can learn the other voicings and inversions and all of that. So this first one I'm going to show you sounds like this. And the fingering for this version, like I said, this is a G major 7, that's my root note right here, G, so that's a G major 7. The fingering for this is your 1st finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, your 4th finger on the 5th string, 5th fret, your 2nd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and just like that. And then with this, you're going to mute out the 1st and 2nd string just by lightly touching your 1st finger across those 2 strings, and that way it doesn't matter if you hit them. Although if you would like to, you could add those in by creating a bar with your 1st finger and catching those 2 notes. And so it totally changes up the sound because you're adding those 2 high notes in it, which is a nice sound still. So if you like that, there'll be situations where that'll probably come in handy to you. So you can learn it both ways. But a lot of times you'll leave those 2 notes out. And that bar is a lot harder to play it with that bar, but if you're learning these chords, you should already know your basic bar chords, so creating that bar shouldn't be too hard for you. So that's the first way to play it. The second way is a more common way to play it, and it sounds like this. So the fingering for this voicing is your 1st finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret still, that's still your G root note, because we're playing a G major 7 right now. Then your 3rd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, your 4th finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and then your 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then you're muting out the 5th string and the 1st string. So you mute out the 5th string with the back of your 1st finger, and you can just mute out the 1st string with probably this part of your hand will probably touch it pretty easily. So that way it doesn't matter if you strum through all the chord, those notes aren't going to ring out. You're only going to hear the notes you're fretting. So that's a really common way to play a major 7 chord. You'll see a lot of people play it that way, and it's a really nice sounding voicing and easy to grab, so that's probably why a lot of people play it. So this one might be the one you want to work on first and get down because you'll probably use it more often. But the other voicing is useful, and the next one I'm going to show you is useful and has a really nice sound, but it's a lot harder to play. So that voicing looks and sounds like this. So this voicing has a really big stretch because you're having to really stretch out your 4th finger, and you have a pretty big span. You're going from, when you're playing a G major 7, you're going from the 3rd fret all the way to the 7th fret, and you're having to skip some strings in there. So it's a difficult voicing. Don't think, if you haven't played chords like this before, don't think it'll be easy to get right away. But if you can get it, it just has a really nice open sound and can add a lot of color to your playing. So the fingering for this one is still your 1st finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, that's your G root note. Your 3rd finger on the 5th string, 5th fret. Then you skip the next note, which is the 4th string, and then your 2nd finger goes on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And then your fourth finger reaches all the way over to the second string, 7th fret. So it's a really big span to reach. It'll be hard at first, but once you get it down, it'll be really useful to you, and it just has a really nice sound. But if that's really hurting your hand, if that feels really uncomfortable, it feels like it's a big struggle to get, don't worry about it for now. Just focus on the other two voicings, and especially this one right here, because like I said, that's the most common out of these three that I'm showing you. And like I said, these are movable chords. I'm showing you as a G major 7, but I can move them anywhere. So if I play this one, with all these voicings, my root is under my first finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. But if I move it up to here, now that's an A note. This is an A major 7. Move it again a whole step, that's a B major 7. C major 7. Move it all the way down here to an F major 7. Doesn't matter. This is a movable major 7 chord, and whatever your root note is, that's the name of the chord. So this is a G, that's a G major 7. And I could do that with any of the voicings that I showed you, the other two. That's still where my root note is under my first finger, 6th string. Wherever that finger moves, that's where my new root note is. That's the new name of the chord. So those are major 7 chords. Work on them and get them down. If you like the sound of them, if you play styles of music that use them, you'll get a lot of mileage out of them, especially this voicing. But it's worth learning the other voicings because they can add different sounds. And especially this one that I showed you that has a big stretch, that has a really nice sound to it and can add a lot of spice to your playing. So work on that as well once your hand feels comfortable with the other ones. And if you want to learn more chords like this, we have a free eGuide that you can download that's intermediate and advanced guitar chords. And it has, like I said, these chords as well as a whole bunch of other chords that'll be really useful to you. And it might not be out right when you're watching this lesson. I'm still working on it right at the moment, although depending when you watch this lesson, it could be out. So if it is out, you'll see a link on the screen. You can click on that and download that for free. If it's not out, it'll just say coming soon. So just watch out for that. It'll be really useful to you. And like I said, it's free, so no reason not to download that. And be sure to subscribe because we add at least one new lesson every day.